Hello, welcome back to the 90s Mad Pod, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies. Myself, D-Man, as usual, joined by my illustrious co-host, AC and Jefferson. You guys good?
Good evening. Very well.
Yeah, all smiles? Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Very happy, mate. Very happy.
Compared to last week and all that, yeah, seems a bit more pep in our step, shall we say. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, share the love. Get the numbers up for us and that. Much appreciated. Smash the like button as we go along. But yeah, as usual, here to review the latest game. This time hosting Chelsea. They finished Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0 in what was dubbed as a 6-pointer for Champions League qualification. And yeah, we came out victorious. It was I'd say a game of two halves, but you know, we still came up with a victory. Eddie Howe switched things up a little bit, which we'll get into. A few surprises here and there. But yeah, overall thoughts on the game, Jefferson?
So I was just about to respond to PDK there. He's on a mad one.
I wasn't. I saw that.
he was busting that yesterday. I was gonna say I dare him to ask what he used to say it. I said it yesterday, so I ain't saying it again. PDK knows what I'm on about. PDK knows what I'm on about.
I am not reading that out loud. No.
Big up, big preacher in the building and Waffle TV as well.
Big up, peeps. Boy, I think we're all pretty gassed in it. I think I almost lost for words because it had so much about it. Number one, we got the 3 points. That's the biggest thing. And we're arguably 3 points from the Champions League twice in 3 seasons. You know, it's real pinching yourself stuff. But when you look at yesterday, it had a bit of everything, didn't it? First of all, packed St. James's Park, beautiful sunshine. You know, I'm sure all of those that got their free ticket or whatever for their liquor, their drink, they were nice and juiced at the start of the game. But honestly, I think what I would say generally is a lot of the things that we've been going on about, where we were looking for areas of improvement, areas of progression, whether it's with the team, the way they play, the manager, it all came to the fore in one game because we saw great preparation, despite injuries, kind of a change to the style, in-game reactive changes, and the endeavor of the players to muck in was second to none. Because I think undoubtedly the key to this victory was the press. You know, let alone obviously 2 beautiful goals, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I think we'll get into more detail about the crazy tactics. I mean, I think, like I said to you guys in the group, I was seeing Tino in the midfield, Burn in the midfield, Share in the midfield. What the hell was going on? It was all over the place, but it was amazing chaos. That's all I got to say about that. So, listen, we're 1 win away. We could literally secure our place next week if we beat Arsenal. So, who knows?
Yeah, listen, it was a great result. I predicted 3-1. And I think I said earlier, if you told me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said, yeah, we'd have won this comfortably. But as the weeks progressed, Chelsea's form, our drop points against Brighton last week, I was a bit nervy about this one. And also the 12 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, which was ridiculous, obviously for Chelsea's European commitments and stuff like that. But I don't know, I felt a bit more apprehension, more pressure going into this game. And I wondered how the team would react.
Nervous, just say it.
I was nervous. I was. But you know, what I did want to see from the lads was a fast start. And we got that. And I think that settled a lot of nerves, which we'll get into anyway. But like I said, Jefferson, you know, we came into the game with injuries, which we didn't know about until the lineup was came out. And then Eddie Howe, we switched up the formation really well, which we wanted to see. And you know what? We know at home, when it's a big game, we usually 9 times out of 10 we turn up. So, and we did again. And we you know, it wasn't the best performance, but it's the result that mattered. And certain players that I asked to turned up, which we'll get into. Some didn't, which we'll get into as well. But overall, like I said, we're 1 win away from Champions League qualification for the second time in 3 seasons. And dare I say, we could even get second place. So, I mean, you know, what we know at home, when it's a big game, we usually 9 times out of 10 we turn up. So, and we did again. And we you know, it wasn't the performance the best performance, but it's the result that mattered. And certain players that I asked to turned up, which we'll get into. Some didn't, which we'll get into as well. But overall, like I said, we're 1 win away from Champions League qualification for the second time in 3 seasons. And which we'll get into as well. But no complaints at the moment. Smiles on my face. And more importantly, I think I told you, look, I was going to my in-laws after the game who are Chelsea fans, and I couldn't have lose this game, because my Eid would have been ruined. And my son as well, he was watching the game with me and celebrated the win, and he gave it to them when we got to the house, and gave it to the Chelsea fans as well, which was nice. But yeah, man, all good, all smiles. AC?
Yeah, for me, man, I think it was one of those games where, like I said in the prediction, it's a game that we had to win. We had to win it. And going into it, it was a bit of a pressure, but I think I did say to you guys, it was all about the lineup for me. Once I saw the lineup, it gave me a bit more of boost of confidence going into it. And I think seeing Botman being included was a sign. Also seeing Gordon starting as well, which was good. But it definitely was a bit of a quiz master in terms of like what's going on with the formation. Because I wonder if Eddie Howe played a double bluff, because TNT Sports had us with 4 at the back, right? And it was like a 4-3-2-1. It was a 4-2-3-1. That's what they had in it on TNT Sports. I remember at the time in our group chat, Jefferson was like, "They got Bernard left back. They can't have Bernard left back," which was quite funny at the time.
Panicking.
You laugh now, and it's quite funny. Your man was panicking, right? Man was like almost like having PTSD from that last season, because I was like, "Nah, there's no way he would put Bernard left back in this kind of." There's no way. But yeah, it's a game of definitely 2 halves, and we're definitely going to get deep into detail about that second half, because it was really nervy. But the fact that we held on to it was well respected and such. But I just want to say, almost repeating what you all said, it's like the setup. It was a beautiful day. Like it was like the crowd were there for it, and boy, the way we started that game. When the atmosphere is like that at St. James's Park, not many teams can come to our stadium and try to turn us over, in my opinion. When it's like that, and when I'm going a bit far ahead here, but when Tonali scored, the sound of the stadium, I'm watching it from home, right? And I think we all were, weren't we? But that sound coming through the speakers of like, the commentators just went silent, and it was just like deafening enough the crowd, and you can just see how much it meant and such. But yeah, I think we're going into detail there about the transitions of formations and stuff and those details. And once again, I'm going to say it right now, I was really impressed with the way tactically it was approached. Substitutions were done at the right time. Those of you who know me well on this podcast in the past, how many times I was so annoyed about the same 65-minute substitution every single game. That seems to be removed from this.
He did make someone 65 minutes though.
And he did. Let's get it straight. There was still one there, but he did do one before that still. But overall though, man, what a result. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like as a club, as a group, and I think I mentioned this in our group chat as well, that in the past, this is a kind of game that usually we go 1-0 up, and we are going to concede. And we went down to 10 men for Chelsea. I started having flashbacks at the time Liverpool went to 10 men, but still clawed it back. Do you see what I mean? But it feels like things are turning a corner here a little bit, and I might be getting too far ahead of myself. And it maybe is that I still got the fever from the Carabao Cup win and such, but man, we got to give it like so much respect to this unit and group, man. What a fantastic win. And I think this is going to go down as one of the special games for the season. We'll go into the highlights of the particular players as well, and Bruno's goal as well, man. Bloody hell. But fantastic result, man. And I feel like you said, I think we're just one more win away now from Champions League certified, and we'll talk about the next game with Arsenal coming up as well.
It was our biggest game since the cup final, to be fair, and we delivered. And speaking of which, I think we played 8 games since the cup final. We won 6 of them. So we all wondered how we would react after the euphoria of the cup win. A lot of people thought maybe we'd tail off, but You know, you hear it with the players. They want Champions League. Like Tonali, I don't know if you lot saw his interview with the club interviewer a couple of days ago.
So good.
And all he was
So
mentioning
good,
was Champions League. We need Champions League. We want to play Champions League. And he is that kind of player that, you know, he's Champions League quality. He does not want to play. He definitely doesn't want Conference League. He said, we don't want Conference League. Europa League, be disappointing, but they want the Champions League. All of them want the Champions League. So that shows the mentality of the players. If maybe not some of the fans, but the players, they're expecting, you know, Champions League and they're going for it. But in terms of the formation quickly, right? We discussed this in the group as well, and maybe someone in the chat could enlighten us. What formation did he start with? Because I saw 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs with Tonali and Bruno holding, and then Gordon and Barnes supporting Isak, but Barnes had a bit more of a free role. So,
D-Man,
I don't know.
Do you know what I just realised?
What?
If he did play 3-4-3, do you know what that means?
What?
He's shown Man United how to play it, mate. If that is the case, I just can't.
And you know what? I was thinking that, you know, just strangely, I was thinking if Amarin was at our
I don't think of
he'd do a lot better with the 3-4-3.
We can play 3 at the back. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would work better with us. Definitely.
Yeah. But maybe Eddie was forced into it with the injury to Willock. You know, and I do believe if we had gone 4-3-3, it would have been a lot closer. So, you know, the 3 at the back work, Botman returning, played 55 minutes, played very well as well. But did you not see anything different? Would you say more of a 3-4-3 or you know, a 5-2, whatever you call it, 3-1, whatever you call it, whatever? How did you see it?
It was a weird one because at times it felt like there was 5, at times it felt there was 3. Obviously, until I think particularly clearly when Kraft came on, that's when they went to a 4.
Yeah.
There was times it felt like there was 2 in the midfield sitting. Because I was like, not much is going on here. There's not much go forward, actually. The pace slowed down a bit. There was a period where there was no one in midfield and Chelsea just running through. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then there was periods, like I said, you had Shea was coming with the ball into the midfield. Burn was in there a few times. Like, Burn, what the hell are you doing there? Get back. But he was doing all right still. And then you have man like Tino rampaging. They couldn't stop the guy, you know.
Tina was so good.
So it was, but I think what was happening was we had our own madness going on because we wanted to confuse them. But also, I want to give Eddie props. I am going to give him his flowers. Yeah, because it was very evident that when my man, what's his name, Maresca, was making changes,
he reacted.
Eddie was making changes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. We want to see this on a more consistent basis. We see this. We're going up. I mean, we'll get to that maybe towards the end of the pod, but this is what we want to see. 100%.
Okay. So going into the game now, obviously, we get the perfect start. I think it was like 180 seconds or something like that. The goal from Tonali. What impressed me the most was it was Tonali that won the ball back after Gordon's gone down from Caicedo's challenge. The ball's come to Lavia, and we pinpointed Lavia as one of the key factors in Chelsea's upturning form is that the fact that he's been playing, and you know, some were touting him as the best midfielder on the pitch going into the game, but it was Tonali that dispossessed him. Quick interchange with Bruno, who put it out wide to Murphy, and there's Murphy again with another assist. Yeah, first time ball, evades Bruno, but there's Tonali at their back post to clever finish as well to bounce it over Sanchez. 1-0, like you said, AC, the crowd just absolutely erupted. And to be fair, from there, I thought we could actually batter these lot, you know, because even after that, like we were on them, we were swarming them with the press, like you said. But AC, what are your thoughts on the goal itself? AC?
Oh, you're going on mute, buddy.
Have we lost him?
Oh,
all right, in the meantime,
technical glitches.
Jefferson, what were your thoughts on the goal?
Well, he's done the old Ozil finish, isn't he? But it starts off with him and his pressing. Like I said, the key to this game was the press. So he presses. I can't remember which player it was on the edge of the box. Was it Neto? Was it one of the fullbacks? I can't remember. But you know, he starts that off, and then the ball goes wide, and I think Murphy puts it into an area. So although it's not accurate, it's such a good cross that it whips through everyone. And so when Tonali strikes the ball, it's almost that Ozil hit it into the ground. it bounces over the keeper, which is quite a hard technique, quite a hard skill. I think something people have said that they want to see more goals added to Tonali's game, and I think in this recent run, he's actually chipped in with a few key
Well,
goals.
that's six for the season. I think it is, which is not a bad return.
Not
Not a
bad
bad return
considering
at all.
you're meant to be more of a
Deep
defensive
deep
player
line
out of the
midfielder.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's come at a good time, and really, after what, 90 seconds? Listen, half the sting's taken out the game, because Chelsea mentally are already on the back foot. And we know once we get our intensity in our rhythm right with our pressing, we can be very, very difficult to play against. So uphill battle for Chelsea from literally the first minute.
Yeah, and you know what? For the next half an hour, we were the better team. Like I said, we were pressing them. They couldn't get out of their half. Big up D Dubs in the building. He said big up to the panel.
Big up, big up, big up.
And big up Specs as well, who's locked in as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, like they were pumping it long. We were eating it up, Dan Burn and whatnot, just eating it up all day. We were winning the battle in midfield. Physically, the likes of Enzo and Lavia couldn't deal with Bruno and Tonali. And like I said, the way that we pinned back, because they had Caicedo at right back in the hope that he would invert. But because the fullbacks were putting him and Cucurella under so much pressure, they couldn't come forward. So it was working really well. We wasn't creating too many clear-cut chances, which was the one disappointing thing. But then the moment of the game really came after 30 minutes with the sending off. Now, Jackson, like a lot of Chelsea fans are cussing, right? Because everyone agrees it's a red card. Yeah. What the hell was he thinking? I mean, in real time, did you think it was a red card?
Yeah, I thought it was a red card. The only reason I thought he might get away with it is because I know it sounds stupid, but he connects with his forearm and not his elbow. Because remember the João Pedro one? That looked like an assassination attempt, didn't it? I think the fact that he's looked at him before he's done it is definitely premeditated. So he's got to go. In fact, I don't even know what the delay was about, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think it looked premeditated, and someone saying there was a bit of a scuffle beforehand, so that's why he's really gone in on him. Could have broke his nose, his jaw, whatever, but it was
first game back as well.
I know he just can't catch a break. But again, you thought after obviously the better team, 30 minutes, and then they go to 10 men. We saw at the half comfortably, but we thought, okay, second half, kill off the game, and it didn't happen. Like the second half, obviously Chelsea made a few adjustments. They brought Caicedo into the midfield, and that's when they basically dominated us. And it was a bit of a nervy one because, all right, they didn't create too many clear-cut chances, but you always sense that they probably could get that one opportunity and put it away. And they forced the great save from Nick Pope when he's gone down to his left, and then and then Enzo has had that shot, that first time shot, and he's had to tip it over the bar. So credit to Nick Pope for staying there. And we spoke about Pope and his shoulder injury, can't get down to his left and his right. And to be fair,
he did it.
He did very well. But
Reece James with the header, I had my heart in my mouth at that moment.
Yeah, because had that been a striker, I think he gets that on target, and that would really test Pope. But the other thing of note to me was, from their point of view, was the tussle between Bruno and Enzo. Yeah, because they were going at it before the corner was taken. They were scuffling, whatever, that Brazilian-Argentine rivalry, whatever. But then when the corner gets taken, Bruno wrestles him, bro. Like he's got his two arms around him, and Enzo's gone down. And on another day,
it's a pen,
Yeah, because Enzo stayed down for a long time, hoping that ref will stop playing, go to VAR and that. But he played on. But on another day, that could have cost us, and that's my frustration with Bruno. Yeah, sometimes he doesn't. He's got that rush of blood, and he doesn't think about it. So, but we held our nerve. And obviously, the key moment came late on in stoppage time. Bruno to make it 2-0. You see, from the set piece, one thing I want to talk about also is Tonali's delivery. Without Trippier there, Tonali was on set pieces.
At last.
And I don't think he misplaced one of them. His delivery was really good. Very, very good. And he's the one that played it off the burn, who was screaming for it. Before that, Burn had that header that went wide, in it, that curling header in the first half. By the way, can you see it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Big up Adrian as well. Big
yeah.
up Double D.
We got Double D.
Yeah, Adrian makes a good point. That was a Shearer-esque header. If that gone in, the roof would have lifted off.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have been given offside because it was marginal.
Inches, wasn't it?
But yeah, very good header. But yeah, if it'd been on target, it'd been very interesting. But yeah,
Can we say the touch as well? Because number one, if I remember correctly, because Dan Burn was getting aggy, going, "Yo, give me the ball,"
give me the ball.
acting like a bad man. Give it. Tonali put some waz on that, you know, and obviously Burn done a good first touch for a big man.
And he played to Bruno. He looked for the 1-2 because he come bombing down the line. Bruno probably seen it, said, "Nah, this ain't your game, bro. Like, love it." So he's cut inside and he's banged it. Obviously, he's taken the deflection to take it over Sanchez, but you know, you don't shoot, you don't score. So just quickly on the celebration, right? Because listen, I love Bruno, like his celebration, that he really gets up for it, whatever. Now he's done all of this, whatever. And then he goes to stand on the side there. So Isak holding him, right? Now he gets down, Isak hugs him. So you know they start to walk over now. I don't know if you glimpse it, right? Bruno then goes and picks up the corner flag. Yeah. Look at Tonali's reaction, bro. Tonali's looking like he's waiting to hug him, but he's like, this guy, bro. Like
He's
this
nuts.
guy. Like, come on, man, just go with it, kind of thing. But I get it. But we'll get to Bruno's performance a bit later. I know AC wants to talk about Bruno itself, but
AC's return from the multiverse.
Yeah, credit to Chelsea though, because you know Maresca made those adjustments, and they did dominate that second half with Caicedo in the midfield. I mean, he should have picked up a bug in the amount of fouls he gave him.
Jeez.
But obviously, what was your thoughts on Gordon and Barnes' performance? Yeah, start with Gordon, AC. What were your thoughts on Gordon's performance?
I think he played really well, actually. And especially because of the system we were playing in. And I think just to echo Jefferson, what he said earlier at the start, is that this system seemed to really work well for most players because it just allowed a little bit of freedom, it felt like. Particularly in that first half of Gordon, and obviously he was also, you know, one of the people who's almost like linking towards that goal as well for Tonali as well. But I think he did play well. He had some opportunities and such, but I think Barnes had quite a lot as well, actually. And I think there were some moments where you felt like Barnes couldn't put them away. But I think we kind of saw that the myth about Barnes and Gordon can't play together kind of like it stopped that myth a little bit. And I think there are ways it can work. I think it has to be the system where Barnes can come in the middle a bit more because Barnes can play centrally. Now, going back to that lineup, it was weird, wasn't it? Because I think it was like, is Gordon playing like a number 10 role? And I was just like, I don't know if that's going to work really. But what I can say about Gordon, though, I think, because he came off, didn't he, a bit earlier as well. And I think maybe his match fitness wasn't there quite there as well. But I think it was the right call to bring him off at that time as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The match fitness, the match sharpness wasn't there. Physically, he was getting bodied a couple of times, and I know Cole was a big guy and whatnot, but you know, you saw chances when he's steaming down the wing, and he just gets brushed off the ball. Whether it's Caicedo, whether it's Cole, he's getting brushed off a bit too easily.
He was going down. I think he was looking for something though, quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying it. Yeah.
What Barnes as well? Barnes, I think played all right. He was getting in the right position. You know, his passing was decent. It's just his final touch. His final touch was letting him down. You know, he had one weak shot in the first half, but he had that glaring opportunity when he in the second half when he could have been through and he just overrun it. But
we didn't cross the poor cross to Gordon.
The poor cross as well. Yeah, I mean, it was just that final, and we suffered from that against Brighton a little bit as well. You know, in the final third, it just wasn't coming together. So I'm hoping that it doesn't come back to bite us in the next two games. But it's encouraging the fact that we are getting into the positions. You know, but I want to talk about Isak. Yeah, because before we talk about the positives of the others, let's talk about Isak. So, Jefferson, what's your thoughts on Isak in this particular game and the last few games? What's your thoughts on him?
Thing is, I'm not gonna coat man or gun man. Do you see what I'm saying? However, I do think it needs to be called at that. Listen, the dude's been rinsed into the ground, innit? He's carried us the whole season. We said this, was it 2 episodes ago? Without his goals, I know we've been on a great run, but without his goals, heaven knows where we'd be. I think it's good that other teammates have tried to chip in, like yesterday.
Mm.
At the end of the day, it's like an old horse that's real tired. Like he's begging for that summertime to come now. So I will cut him some slack, but I do think there needs to be some game management because it got to the point where he's not affecting the game and he's not pressing well either. So then he might as well not be there. And that's where I think you could have brought on Wilson earlier or brought on Osula, or I think we'll come back to talking about some players in a moment. If you look at the positions that Barnes takes up, he was coming centrally anyway. So I think it's one of them ones that I would cut Isak some slack because we've not given him any rest. He's not been rotated. He's had to carry the load because obviously a combination of Wilson not being fit and also the coach not trusting Asula. So I think he's breaking down now and it's time for him to have a rest. But listen, he's a soldier, 2 games to go. But it is frustrating in a big game like that. You want your best players to have a significant impact.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. Big up Big Sam is in the building. Big up Ian as well, and Jose. But with him, it's twofold because in some say yes, he's knackered. He's played more games this season than he probably did last season. And credit to him because he hasn't missed many through injury. So in that respect, we have to praise him for that. He is trying, right? But 2 things is that he's not getting the service. He's not getting the service at all. We're not. The link up between him and Murphy isn't as clinical as it was before. Other players are not really finding him. But like I said, he's overworked. But my frustration is with him as well is that if he's not impacting the game, sometimes he looks it's like we're playing with 10 men. Or if he does get the ball, he's misplacing his passes or he's getting beat off the ball too easily. There was one point where he came central, he lost it, and Chelsea broke.
Oh, they had a counter.
Yeah, and it could have cost us. So, it's but like you said, without his goals, where would he be? We know he's probably the best striker in the league as well. I hope he can get, a couple of goals before the season's out. And, he loves playing against Arsenal. So hopefully the next game is his game. But yeah, he needs a break. He does need a break. And hopefully, we can bring someone in, a quality replacement for it, I think, to give him a rest, to rotate in a few games when we're playing in Europe next season.
We're definitely going to need that. Definitely.
Yeah. AC, I want to talk about Bruno. Yeah, because you were very vocal about Bruno in the group chat yesterday. So what were your thoughts? What's your thoughts on him and his performance? First of all, yesterday.
His performance. Okay. Let's start with this. So overall, I think he had a good game because he was involved with a lot of play in terms of like trying to feed the ball through on attacks. There was a lot of times he was doing a lot of through balls and such. He was there. And also he played really well when we had to like sit and defend at times as well. And I think with Bruno's game, it always comes with the almost like the asterisks at the end of like, Bruno's going to play. Yeah, he's gonna be on some confrontational things where he might be going to the ground a bit here and too. But I think one of the things I do want to mention about this guy, right, is this particular game. Now, most people will not know that in this game, he actually got fouled for the 100th time this season, which is the first player to reach that target. I don't know if it's a proud target to announce, really, but this player has been fouled 100 times in the Premier League this season. First player to reach that, mind you. Now, that tells you a lot. It tells you that, like, teams are obviously analysing that he is one of our key players in the Newcastle United side. And so he is. He was responsible for a lot of our possession and the way that we go to attack as well. And I think he showed a lot of those qualities yesterday. He had a couple of moments as well where I remember Murphy did this.
Yeah, it was think over.
That little dink over, man, that was beautiful, man. Now I do want to shout out Murphy for that, really, because like if anybody else with some exotic name said or did that chip right, they'd be glazing over it like donuts for the rest of the week, right? Because it's Murphy, no one's really saying anything. But shout out to Jacob Murphy because that was a finesse pass, but obviously Bruno just put his laces through it and it just skied it, right? I think it almost like hit over the stands. But his goal, though, you know, and I think Bruno's is a play. He does try, and I know that we've gone through this before. That probably when we look at the lineup of the team, of who's got the best shots or not, Bruno's probably not hitting top 3 or top 4. Let's be honest. But when he does come off, he comes off well. But I think once again, I think because yesterday was a game about Trippier, you haven't got another man on there who's going to lead the team and such. He is our club captain. And I think he just led the team really well. But I think what I want to talk about is, you know, I'm not gonna pull names out the hat here, yeah. I'm putting up against the wall and, you know, put tail on the donkey and all that. But a lot of people have been calling out Bruno for saying that he's slack, this and that, blah blah blah. Right. People got short-term memories, right? I just want to give this little shout to Bruno because for the whole of last season, he carried this team on his back, right? Whole season, because Tonali wasn't there last season, right? And probably responsible for a lot of our victories and probably helped us get to where we were. And I think he is a fundamental player towards our team. And I think it's, you know, I can be critical of him at times in terms of like, he's not on form and such and this and that. But I feel like he always got to give it what it does. And I think his goal yesterday, and I know it's quite funny the way he celebrates and that, and he points to the back of his shirt and that, and he's saying that he's the real Bruno and stuff like that with the real Bruno step, please stand up. But
he blew a kiss to Enzo as well.
He blew Argentina and Brazil beef, right? It's some real like rare steak there, yeah. That man will beef in it hard. But yeah, shout out to Bruno, man. And I just feel like I think though we can come hard on our players and such at times, I just feel like we just got to remember of like these players who give it all to the team. And I think Bruno deserves it, man. He was also my player of the year last season, hands down. And obviously I got a soft spot for Bruno, so that can come to play some bias towards what I'm saying here. But regardless, innit, all I'm saying is you can be critical of him, but you have to be easy on him at the same time. Shout out to Bruno.
That's a fair point. I mean, Bruno, right? Bruno plays on the edge. Yeah, you know, he's passionate. You know, he loves the club. He loves Newcastle. And like Ian said, he joined us when we were third bottom, right? So you can never, you know, discredit his loyalty and where he's got to, how he's brought us to where we are. Yeah, Bruno, how can I put this kindly? He lets his intrusive thoughts like get the better of him sometimes. Yeah, similar to what, you know, when we was on the parade at the stack, not the stack, wherever it was, and Isak's goading him to say something, and you can see it's running through his head. Like he's just, what can I say? What can I say? He's figured out and he just said it. That's his character, and you know it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it translates on the pitch, right? And it can be quite frustrating. And I give you a case in point: the cup final. Yeah, we always bring it back to the cup final. Coasting at 2-0, he tries to do a pirouette in the middle of the pitch, right? Loses it. You know what happens, right? Now, also yesterday, all right, you're beefing with, I know that this rival between ends or whatever, yeah, you're beefing with him. The ref has warned you at that set piece, yeah? You then proceed to foul him in the box, yeah? And he goes down. And I said to Jefferson, on another day, that could have cost us, right? You also brought up the fact that he's won 100 fouls, right? 97 of them is him trying to win it, yeah? And it does come off. But then when it doesn't come off, yeah, he leaves us exposed.
I know there's a thin margin.
It's part of parcel. You know, you have to. But don't get me wrong.
It's a thin margin. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Bruno is a great player. He is a great player. Is he world class? I'm not so sure. But
close.
He's on the cusp. But he's not
So let's discuss that.
Remember though, he had that ankle injury. I don't think he's been the same since the ankle injury.
I agree, but you know what? Yesterday,
23, I think he's lost a yard.
But I will say,
very slow.
Yesterday was the fittest I've seen him because he did a bursting run. I don't know who it was in the first half, and he took it from our area all the way down to and I thought it was Murphy or Barnes or something. The way he was breathing, I was like, okay, he's got that in his soccer. So I get what you're saying. He does sometimes look a bit sluggish. When especially when he try to track back, he looks like he's running in custard and that. But but you know the great thing is that we've got Tonali there that allows Bruno, like I said, especially Jefferson, to scream for Bruno to be further forward, and that's where he's more effective, right? And you see it in his numbers now, and he's less of a defensive liability. Although him and Tonali tend to swap and stuff. But listen, I'm not going to slate him because you know we're better with him in the team than we are right, 100%, and he embodied the spirit of the team. You know what I mean? So, and he's a class player. He's one of our better players, right? Yeah. And if we're gonna be successful, we need to keep him.
I think it's one of those things of, and there's no shame in it. And I'm seeing it like this way, because Tonali is like really embedded in our team, and people like to compare the two, right? Obviously, Tonali will come out on top in all areas, probably. You know, do you know what I mean? Because when we look back of like when Tonali wasn't there and it was just Bruno, we were going through mad stats like we only win when Bruno's playing. Do you remember those times? That's not long ago, right? People got short-term memories, right? People forget. People just channeling this one season. You know what I mean? And you know, some fans are just like, yeah, we should just sell him. I'm just like, are you smoking something, bro?
No, we should be selling him. However, if someone came to you and said, listen, we're taking Bruno, Tonali, or Isak, take your pick. One of them has to go. Who are you taking? Who are you selling?
That's a mad question, bruv. You can't do that. I won't answer any.
I've been the villain enough this season, man. I can't be asked. Is Spec still here, bruv? I've been on my best behavior, yeah?
You can't.
No, but Ian, I see Ian's coming in. I'm not saying any of them are going. I'm saying hypothetically, don't keep, hypothetically, if a gun's to your head and a man says you have to lose one of them, yeah, which one are you choosing to go?
Obviously, it's probably going to have to be Bruno, isn't it? Because
still Gordon.
because Isak, if you look at it, Isak's one of the best strikers in Europe. No way he's going. Tonali, I believe he is the future for this team. They've got to build a team around this guy, so there's no way he's going. And probably, if it had to be done, it would probably be Bruno, because if this was a conveyor belt, he's probably looking at another year, maybe 2 maximum at the club. If it was to be moving along to another club,
his value's dropped, wouldn't you say? We had that 100 million release clause. I'm going to be honest, guys. We can't say he's £100 million player.
He's not.
I don't even think he's an £80 million player, but I do think he's in that 60 to 70
but
category.
He's the one that I can categorically say he actually might retire at the club. The rest of them, Tonali and Isak, listen, if we don't make Champions League, I think Tonali could be gone. You know what I mean? He's got that. I think I said it before. He's got that tunnel vision. Like, I need to be playing Champions League. Maybe one more season, but between him and Isak, nah. Bruno's the one that loves the club. Tonali and Isak love the club, but Bruno loves the club.
I think we have to understand we're not like a super club, and we're not an elite club. We're still building, despite our history. We're still building.
Still a squad rebuild, man.
Some of these players, they ain't got time to waste. It's good to compete. Obviously, it helps winning trophies, but they want the best trophies on offer. So, for example, your Isaks, for me, it wouldn't surprise me if within the next 2 seasons, so I think you'll stay with us next season. The season after, if Barca get any money, he's gone.
Who?
Isak. He will be Lewandowski's long-term replacement.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be mad at that if he was to go, because
I don't see
join any other English club.
I don't see Isak at a club forever. It's just one of those things. It is what it is. But But at least though, we're in a better era now. When players leave, you're going to see where the money goes, right? And that's the difference right now as well. But it's going to be interesting because at the moment we are looking very more comfortable that we are going to get Champions League this season.
And yeah, we are. We're going to get that. I just want to give.
Don't get me wrong. Like we won 66, right?
Yeah, there's work to be done. But I just want to give a big shout out to Dan Burn because I thought he was our man of the match yesterday, and he epitomizes the want for Champions League because he knows his time's running out, innit? Yeah, but he wants one more crack at Champions League football, and the way he's played, and it's funny because now he looks like our biggest aerial threat. But remember how long we were talking about he's big and useless up front, like at set pieces. He can't head the ball, he doesn't win it. But now he's demanding the ball. They're looking for him every time for the knockdown. This guy is a threat. And defensively, he looks so. We know he lacks the pace in it, but his positional awareness and his physicality seems to be winning every duel that he's in. He put a tackle on who was it? At the byline yesterday, and he started celebrating. This was in the first half, I think it was, or early in the second half. But he continues to be one of our top performers, and he's arguably our best performer this season. I
think I can see him getting Player of the Season from the club this year. I think he deserves it as well because he's just been local hero and all that, man. You got to give it to him, but also, I think Burns is just getting better with age, man. Honestly, like he's better this season than he was last season, and then the last season, I think he was better than the previous season before that. So we're just getting the best and best and best out of him. Think about it, this is the same season he made his like debut for England as well. This is like it's ridiculous, man. And he was doing so well. Like there were some really good bits in that game where, like you said, he would come into midfield, but he was then pressing Palmer and just like it was just ridiculous. But I love that formation though because what it did, it allowed him to go forward. Botman and Cher were just like covering from behind to allow the protection, so it didn't matter. And there was one bit. I think Burn did get beaten by I think it might have been Neto. I think he got beaten, but Botman quickly come in and close it down. I was like, yes, man. This is what I've been waiting for because it doesn't leave. Because before it might have been like, shit, you missed out on that. Then man gets skinned, and then that's it. It's a goal threat. But at least there was that extra bit of padding, and then and it was obviously so good to see Botman back as well. I think he was really good, and I'm glad they managed his minutes well. He didn't like stay on to bloody 90 minutes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
big up WTSM. He said the tackle was on Neto. It was, yeah, you're right. But yeah, a big up Sven Botman as well because to come back again and put on a performance like that was really good. And good to see Lascelles in the squad as well. Jamal Lascelles back in the squad.
Forgot about him.
Give people a lift. But I want to say a couple of things. The first one, going back to Eddie. If you look back at the Fulham game, it's a prime example. We have Fulham running at us, and it looked like we hadn't learned from the first game. And I remember I was fuming that game, saying, "Come on, Eddie, do something, do something, do something." Like everyone was screaming at the TV, like it was evident changes need to be made, and nothing happened. We lost the game.
You conceded.
What I loved about yesterday, two key changes. He saw that Murphy was not tracking Cucurella, and he's like, "Mate, you go up there." I forgot who did he take off?
He took off Gordon, innit?
Took off Gordon. So I'll come to Gordon and say, took off Gordon and put Kraft there to be more defensively sound. And I've said it, you said it. Kraft needs to play more games because he's not the best, but he's solid and dependable. So we can make changes in the squad.
So
I
reliable.
thought he was steady. We need to utilize his squad more. When we started utilizing squad players, they're doing all right. And it's starting to feel like, why haven't we been making these changes? But anyway, back to giving Eddie his flowers. So he spotted that straight away and he didn't mess about. He made that change instantly. This is what we've been looking for. And then with Gordon, for me, yes, some of it he goes down easy, but some of it he was getting. Listen, Reece James is a beast. He's a tank, and he couldn't do him. He couldn't do him, and he also didn't quite have the extra yard of pace he normally has because I don't think he's match fit. But I remember the interview with Neville. He talked about he does yoga and stuff. The lads needs to get in the gym. Yeah, the Premier League is a physical game. You cannot be a slim bean forever. Like, he needs to put on some muscle in his hamstrings, or I don't know, his lower back or something. Because
calf muscle.
Because if you look at Harvey Barnes, just the second point I want to make, Harvey Barnes, his first touch wasn't the best. A couple of times his decision making weren't the best. But what I like is he's persistent, and the players are starting to read his game. They're doing 1-2s before he receives the ball back, because they're reading his runs and he's getting in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
Even more so, dare I say, than Isak. He's arguably our biggest threat at the moment. It's just that, he's not obviously consistently scoring, but it creates chaos. It creates space for others. He just needs to put those finishing touches. So I'm really pleased to see how Harvey Barnes was performing. And lastly, as well, that change in Lewis Miley actually enabled Bruno to get further forward. If you notice, that one where he blasted it over, that came after the change, and then obviously the goal he scored, he's just that little bit closer to the goal. It's so important.
Okay, couple comments there. Ian says, don't underestimate Piff. They want to be the best. We haven't bought in a while. We're under no pressure to sell anyone. And he said, I'm fully expecting reinforcements as opposed to selling our diamonds. Agreed. And that all depends, the caliber of player depends on if we make Champions League or not. So like we mentioned, I think someone said we're 4 points away from securing it, but 3 points will do it. Yeah, if you look at the calculations, 3 points because of the goal difference, it should be enough. But
just one little thing. I got a little thing cool to share actually. So at the moment we have 20 wins, don't we? And here's a cool little fact, that the last time that we hit 20 wins plus was actually the season of 2002-2003 with Sir Bobby at the helm, which is like crazy, right? And that was a season that we actually finished third with Sir Bobby, if you remember correctly, which actually has similar stats. Like, if you look at the way how many losses and draws and wins we've got, it's very similar to that same year with Sir Bobby. So I just want to highlight that. So it's quite significant, really. And it just makes you realize that if we do win one more game, we didn't draw with the same amount of wins. But if we end up winning these last 2 games, this is the most successful league position we've ever had. Which is like crazy. Ever had, I want to say, like, since the millennium, let's put it that way. I'm not going to go too far back in time, but it's going to be quite evident.
Yeah. Since December 20th, only Liverpool amassed more points than us. Yeah. So we are a very consistent team. We're very consistent. Now we just need the final push for those 2 games. Yeah.
Sounds like a second place team, doesn't it?
It does, but let's talk about it, because we now have 2 key games to get a minimum of 3 points. We know if we get 6 points, we finish second, right? Now, it's away to Arsenal next, and then home to Everton, right? So don't forget, smash the likes, people. But
yeah, please
hit them likes.
Are we gonna do it? Yeah. First of all, what are your thoughts on the Arsenal game? Because Arsenal, I mean, they are going to qualify for Champions League football. Their season's practically over. They've got a couple of injuries, suspensions. Marino's been sent off against Liverpool. I heard that Rice is injured and maybe Trossard is injured as well. So
could be bluffing. Anyway,
we've beaten them 3 times. Yeah.
No goals conceded either.
No goals conceded. Right? Are we going to do it? Forget Everton for now. Are we going? What are we going to do against Arsenal?
Draw.
I think Hal's got his number, man. I think he's going to set us up tactically for that as well. I don't think like just because we won this game, we're going to be like comfortable now. Like, oh, we don't have to win this game. No. I think Eddie Howe's going to be cutthroat and go for the jugular here, because why not? And I think because Marino got that red card is massive for them. You know why? Without him now, they've got like 0 goal threat.
Well, they played Martinelli central.
No strikers, bruv. I don't care what any Arsenal fans say. If you're in the comments, chat to me, yeah? But you ain't got no strikers, bruv. None. So, and the fact that we're playing with the fire here, that Rice could be missing, Odegaard is what, bruv, it's a castle crumbling.
No, Odegaard there. It's Trossard.
Trossard, sorry.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's every chance that we could. Why not, kind of thing? And I feel like because we're able to like beat them 3 times this season, the pressure's not on us, guys. The pressure's on them.
It's
on them.
Ash in the comments is feeling it, man. So we can't afford to lose. We have no strikers. Can we have Isak? Listen, and he thinks it's going to be a draw.
But the thing is, if it was a draw, though, it's still a good result.
1-1.
I feel like
it's not a bad result. It's not, but if it depends on how. Let's be honest, because Chelsea play United before that, and Villa play Spurs, so they will get their 3 points.
And man, and I feel like this whole like Man United and Spurs, man, bro.
Let's be honest, they are 2 of the worst teams in the Premier League. However, it's even made me even worse because they've got the Europa League final just after that, so they're going to rotate. They're going to play their youngsters.
They're going to roll over, man. Pay putty. They're going to roll over.
So we have to get the job done now. Obviously, if we get the job done against Arsenal, we can relax pretty much against Everton. But
I just want to highlight this quickly. I don't know if there's any Man United people or Spurs in the chat. Spurs have lost 20 games this season, bruv. 20 games. We've won 20. They've lost 20. 20. Man United have lost 17 games this season. I don't think people are like saying this out loud enough. I feel like people are not saying it, bruv.
One of them will get Champions League football, and there's no guarantee.
Scandalous, though. And to be fair, they've been chucking the games away, though. I think they're both gambling. Some of it has been they've not been good enough, but some they've either made changes, or you can see they're not actually trying to play. They're just like
that's what I'm saying.
They're literally like, let's turn up midweek.
But let's be honest, one of them will have the worst season ever, but the other one is going Champions League, and if we don't get there, bruv, do you know how embarrassing that is?
Fuming.
Yeah, especially with Man United to pick us again to Europe. Yeah,
I'm sorry, it can't be Spurs. For me, it can't be Spurs. It can't be Spurs, boys. And Ange, imagine Ange, like, I want a trophy, mate.
We will make Champions League.
Joel's going to win a trophy, mate. You know what I mean?
I think it's going to be Forest who misses out on Champions League.
Forest and who? Because 2 teams have to miss out.
Villa are getting in, I reckon.
Villa will get 69 points.
Chelsea will miss out.
I think Chelsea and Forest. And I can see them just drawing on the last game of the day.
Villa are in, guys.
Villa, right? They get 69 points. I'm talking about us, though. Like, okay, if we don't beat, if we lose to Arsenal, and then we have to go beat Everton, on the last day of the season with Jordan Pickford, who would want nothing better, nothing more than to slap us down, turn into prime Buffon,
the club just got to give out 3 beers again, isn't it?
And they're in good form, Everton. That won't be easy, man.
Look what they did to Fulham.
Wow. Yeah.
Slap them.
Where's Kante, man? Where's Kante?
He's in hiding.
He's in hiding, isn't he?
I
did speak to him at the weekend. He was disconsolate, man. He was so angry.
Sorry for him, but
they had a legitimate chance of 8th, and they chucked it.
We still got remember Man City as well, because Man City are home to Bournemouth next week, which isn't an easy game, but then they're away to Fulham. The last game they're going to slap Fulham. Do
you think Man City might fall out of top 5?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Haaland's back.
2-0 with Southampton, bro.
And that will make them angry. So pray for Bournemouth, innit? Pray for Bournemouth. It's the key was Bournemouth losing to Villa is the wounder, because had Villa got points there, they would have been done. But they will get 69 points because they've got United and Spurs, their last games, right? So they're going to get those points. Chelsea will get the 3 points against Man United, and then they play Nottingham Forest away in the last game of the season, and they'll probably beat Forest.
And what worries me is that Villa could get the goal difference up against Villa and Man United.
No, but they're not catching us in goal difference. They're like +7. We're like +20 something. They're not catching us in goal difference.
I think we're good. I think we will beat Everton. If we beat Arsenal, it's job done. Like, we can chill at home. Even if we finish 5th.
If we beat Arsenal, but that's what I'm saying.
Everton, I think we will beat them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they've got nothing to play for.
I want us to finish 3rd, man.
I want second. If we beat Arsenal,
I don't want second. Apart from the fact you get more prize money, I think second, I'll tell you why, it's going to heap so much pressure on the players.
I disagree.
Going into next season, finishing runners up. There's a difference between finishing third and finishing runners up.
Yeah, but no one's expecting us that you go into the new season, the favourites will be Man City, Liverpool, then Arsenal. Yeah, we might be full favourites, but the pressure not on us. No one in their right mind, unless we have the most outstanding summer, no one in their right mind is going to think that we are genuinely going to win the Premier League. You know, you get the 1 or 2 say, "Oh, watch out for Newcastle," whatever. But no one would generally expect us to challenge for the Premier League.
I say this. First of all, if you finish second or third, you actually up in a better pot when it comes to Champions League. I know it's no longer group stage, it's just one league table, but the ball for Newcastle still goes in a particular pot. I would prefer if we did finish higher. You finish 5th, yeah, bruv, you're gonna straight away just gonna face Barcelona on your first game. That's how
allow it.
Also, I think it's crazy, right? Because I don't want to get too carried away in it, but there is a thing here of like, if we make 4 very good signings, and I'm just saying 4, I wish I can have more, but let's just say 4 to be realistic, right? We
what?
Yeah. I'm saying that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not saying anything else.
All right. Okay, you say 4, yeah. What positions?
See, I could be getting away with myself here because I'm hoping in it. Like, this is just my wish list, isn't it? I hope that like this adaptation of formation could be the future. So hear me out. Let's say the 4-3-3 is done. It's dead, yeah? No more 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're going to play with 5 at the back and having 2 wing backs consistently. That'd be wild, but you can adapt it here and there. But if we start playing with a formation where we start actually having to get number 10, and I know this echoes what we were saying in the past. I know Jefferson was talking about getting Cunha, and that dream's kind of done for Cunha. But if we instead went for a particular player who can play in that role, that would be good. Obviously, we still need the right wing position like forever. And I know I'm going to have to be honest right here. Murphy's going for his purple patch. I would love to say he continues this next season, but don't know about you guys, but I'm not relying on it. I'm just not.
No.
We definitely need a new centre back, no doubt.
Adrian, I'm coming for you in a minute. Don't worry about that. But go ahead, sorry.
But we definitely need a new striker. But I think this new striker has to be
on their face.
We have to. we need quite a proven striker. I don't think Delap is the answer. Forget that, man. It's
David's gone. David's gone to Napoli.
Too much of a player that's going to need. It's almost like Osula 2.0. I don't need that to go in Champions League, man. What, you're going to bring the Championship player to bring Champions League? Nah, bro.
Raid Brentford for Embremo and Vissa.
Boy, that'd be a nice 120 mil or something. I think get Boniface, man. I'm hearing we might be able to get him for like 40 million, maybe less. Man?
They need to come out and tell us what the budget is. They're never going to do it, but I need to know the budget, man. What is it? 250? What we got? What we playing with?
I reckon we'll spend about between 200 and 250.
I think 150 to 180, but it depends on sales.
150?
And it also depends on sales, and it also depends on sponsorships. Because if they announce some kind of sponsorship deal,
hold on. One thing,
that's a broke man.
You name 3 positions. What's the 4th one?
Who you talking to? Me?
You said 4 players. So you named 3. Yeah. What's the 4th?
I think we need a new keeper.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't forget
the new keeper.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but we need a new keeper.
Right.
I don't care if you bring out a keeper I've never heard of before. Right. Some man who can't speak his word.
We're looking at one in Spain or something like that. But all right, I reckon we need a keeper. Yeah. I think we need a right back. Yeah, cover. Centre back.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think we need a right winger, backup striker, and then if we have a midfielder. Yeah. If we can get 6 players.
Joe Linton, innit?
Right. Yeah. Joe Linton needs to not be so comfortable. That's 6 players, right? If we can get 6 players in,
That's a
IP,
title challenge.
right? Yeah, then you're talking, because you've got Europe. Remember, we've got Europe as well. You know, yeah. Whether it's Champions League or Europa, we need 6. So that will be what? And you obviously sell the Wilsons, you sell the who else are there? Longstaff, whatever. Yeah, sell those 2, sell Target, whatever. Right now, at least you've got. I mean, maybe Willett, but at least you've got, right, 16 first teamers. Yeah, 16 to 17 first teamers that you can go into a season comfortable with, because you know, if Joe Linton goes down, or Joe Linton, not say he could be the backup, but someone to rotate with Joe Linton, right? You've got someone who can rotate with Isak. You know, the right winger should be the first choice, and if he needs to rest, Murphy comes in, because you know what Murphy can do. You've got the cover on the left hand side with Gordon.
Basically, we want backup for every single position on the pitch.
Competition for places. We need players that are good enough to come in. I don't want them automatic backup. I want them, as in the places are so close, they're not under. So if we got a Boniface, as good as Isak is, Boniface is physical. Like, I can see him scoring goals in the Prem. That's someone that's going to challenge your striker, not the lap where it's going to be, yeah, I'm an understudy. Let me come on, have 20 minutes here. It's like, no, I'm going to be battling you in training because I want to be starting in your position. That's what we want. Or we want it where you switch a player out and you don't even miss them. We want
I look forward to that future where you could just be like, just rest Bruno for today and it's fine. You know what I mean? It's just like we get to a point we actually that's proper squad depth, isn't it? That's proper squad depth. Because I think going back to like this actual game with Chelsea, because our momentum dipped in that second half, I honestly do think it comes down to the fact, man, this team is bloody tired. They're knackered, man. And I think I know it can come as an easy excuse, but the team is tired. They're absolutely shattered. Because all these players are playing like, they're starting every game, man. So it's just like, we're at this point in the season where a lot of the players are just like, they can see the finish line in sight, but they're just like, one more game. And like at Isak, it's just that he has to start every game at the moment. It's a shame, but one thing I will say about Isak is that it's almost like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's like you could rest him, but then
not for these 2 games. No,
you can't. But also the fact is that he could be not involved in the game, but if we get a penalty, he will score it. And that's that kind of position we're in as well. Because it happened, didn't it, against Brighton, I think. It was like, he was barely included. We got a penalty, scores it. It's almost like he's, you know, despite him not running on full tank, he's running half a tank, but he's still more effective than Wilson, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So it's just like...
All right, let's talk about, get some of these comments in, all right? So I see, where are we? I see Adrian said that I said that second was going to be a pipe dream, a couple of weeks ago. And to be fair, it was looking like a pipe dream, right? So
that was when we lost against Villa,
Yeah. He also said, apparently I said that we wouldn't finish above Forest. Do you guys remember that? I don't remember this.
My man's putting up receipts, boy.
But obviously, I'm gonna go. If that's what I said, that's what I said in it. But I just don't recall. Yeah, that's what I said.
I respect this though, because it's obviously, you know, Adrian, man, you're a faithful listener. You're here every show. So
yeah, Adrian, I believe him. I believe him.
I believe him too. I
do remember. I think this the whole thing about second. I remember you guys having a back and forth about that one.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, I'd love to be wrong.
You know what?
Can get second. Yeah,
it's because the other results also played into our hands. We thought City were going to win every game for the rest of the season. No, that hadn't happened. So I feel like it's really just tipped the scale a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Even with Arsenal just drawing with Liverpool, it's just like,
I expected Liverpool to beat them though, man. Liverpool farting around, they get on my nerves. They get on my absolute nerves.
Right?
Eddie,
come outside.
You see, Eddie, he's someone that he'll trial something. So he'll be stubborn and not do it, know that he has to do it eventually. Similar to Southgate, then he'll eventually do it. Then I think he tends to stick with it once he's convinced that, oh yeah. So do you think all these changes he's made in this game? Will it be a one-off, or will he be like, oh, this is a successful formula I can use? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, let's be honest. He's going to go with the same kind of... The interesting thing is...
Thanks, Ashidane.
He'll go with the same formation, I think, against Arsenal. But does he go with the same personnel if Trippier is back? Who does he drop?
I
Does he
wouldn't
bring
even bring Trippier back in, you know? Because was it hamstring or calf? You know those kind of muscle injuries, man. It's just like it feels like it's so late in the season where you can help them, like let them bed it in. It's just like 20 minutes, yeah. Bring him on as a sub, but high stakes. It's high stakes now. High stakes.
I see WTSM said bring Cobble from Dortmund between the sticks. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. I know Double D said we owe you nothing. No, you don't, to be fair. But two things, like what happened to collecting 90 points?
You man are drunk.
Don't worry, bro. They gave us our little gift for the cup final anyway, so it's all good, man. It's all good. All good.
What are we gonna do about this situation? We got Oddy, who we spent 20 million on.
He's going out on loan, apparently.
We want some money, man.
No, just sell him, man.
I'll sell him for half the break. If someone gives us 10 million for him, just sell him.
Who's buying that brother for 10 million? Who's buying Oddy for 10 million?
I think we just got to sell him and sell Dubravka, cash in, get a new keeper, which Pope has to compete with, and then you still got freaking Gillespie in the background, shining shoes. What he's doing, I don't know. This guy, man.
Something has to give. We have to get better at selling.
Shout out to Gillespie still. He's been there since.
Because Dubravka will go, isn't it? We'll probably get 5 or 6 million for him. He'll probably go, isn't it?
When did Gillespie get signed? I want to say something crazy like...
He was a Bruce signing, wasn't he? From like Motherwell or somewhere like that. He was either Bruce or... No, not McLaren. No, he wasn't Rafa either. I'm sure he was Bruce.
2017 or something crazy like that? Google it, innit? But Gillespie's been there for a hot minute. He could be hitting nearly 10 years soon. That's crazy.
I think Ian put something about Murphy having... Only Salah's got more goal contributions than Murphy this season, which is amazing. Yeah. But speaking of Salah, right? Double D's in the chat, but is Salah going to get this assist record, bro? Because he was on course to smash it, right? And I don't know if he's not creating the chances or the players are not putting away, but he spoke about it when they won the title, what game it was, and he said, yeah, he wants the record. But since then, I don't think he scored a goal or got an assist. So someone educate me, man. I think he needs 3 to equal the record and 4 to beat it.
The new contract curse, guys. Have you not heard?
Right, I listen. We'll find out next season if that's the case, because I started trolling a couple of Liverpool fans about the Alba curse and the Aubameyang curse.
Let me drop this stat for you. Jacob Murphy has registered the same amount of goals and assists in the Premier League this season than Odegaard and De Bruyne combined.
Same amount or more?
Same amount.
Okay.
So the same amount. So Jacob Murphy's goal and assists is the same amount as Odegaard and De Bruyne combined.
Wow.
Put that in your pipe.
Someone needs a new contract. But so yeah, all right. To wrap it up then, just to are we making Champions League or not, AC?
Yes.
Yeah, Jefferson, are we making it or not?
Hell yeah.
Okay. I think we'll get
Chelsea game was a big pivotal moment. If we but
do you remember the famous Harlem Heat? Double D knows what I'm on about, with Booker T and Stevie Ray, and he says the N-word by accident. He goes, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Oh yeah.
So this is us. We're coming for you, Arsenal. We're coming for you, Arsenal. We're coming for you, Arsenal.
Well, I can't afford to lose that game, you know. I've been trolling Arsenal for too much, man. I can't afford to lose that game.
Double D, you know what I'm on about, innit? Booker T.
I can see Arteta being wound up, man, and complain about the ball again. You can see it, man.
He's feeling the pressure, isn't he? He's feeling the pressure.
Bro,
yeah, go ahead.
That's a conversation for another day.
Fifth season with no...
Eddie Howe's better than him, man.
Just quickly, Double D said, I don't think Salah gets that record now. Nunes' miss against Chelsea was diabolical. Yes, it was.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
But let's keep that brother far away from the club.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, we'll leave it there. We will be back to review the Arsenal game. Hopefully, celebrating Champions League qualification, if not one step closer. But as Adrian said, it's going to be a tasty match at the Emirates. Looking forward to it. I might actually be in attendance again, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thanks all for joining, for your comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. It will be available on the audio, the Apple Podcast, and Spotify. But yeah, until next time, we're out. Peace.
Salute, people.